Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's me, R-Squad911, back again with another Ghostbusters DIY video. I just switched on a light there. I was wondering why it was a little dark. Uh, yes, if you've watched one of my most recent videos, I had just purchased the GB Fans full metal aluminum Ecto Goggle lenses here. And before then, I had these lenses on there. These were by Pugglesworth on Etsy, and he machines these out of solid aluminum. The only issue, they look gorgeous, by the way, with the domed lenses in there. Uh, the only issue is that they are thick and heavy. I mean, they are solid. If you drop this, it's not going to like deform in any way, shape, or form. These ones probably will. It's much thinner, lighter aluminum, but these are just like almost like a cast aluminum CNC'd. I mean, they're all CNC'd, but this one's just, you can see the thickness versus that one. They were awesome. They look great, but when I was wearing them on my head, on my face, it actually put divots on the top of my head, and it would actually give me a headache because of just the sheer weight of it. But what I've done here is I've just mounted them onto the GB Fans plate. Here I had to like 3D print some mounts and stuff, so now I can have this. I can maybe do another project, maybe install it on my daughter's goggles, but it might be too heavy for her too, right? So it would be just a cool kind of like display piece, or maybe I'll sell it, who knows. But yeah, the GB Fans comes with this back plate, and this front plate here, which is supposed to replace this plate, and then this will mount behind it and sandwich it together on like, there's like supposed to be like a brim inside here, which you would just sandwich and hold. So the issue with me is I couldn't do that on my Stanz Industry goggles because this piece was glued in. After modifying it, I'll explain. I could have used this and placed it on top of this, but I'd have to trim off this extra kind of lip here, and I kind of like that look of that lip. It's kind of chipped off on this side. I can focus it on there. It's kind of chipped off on this side, but it's fine. It kind of adds to the weathered look. But yeah, so if I flip it over here, you're gonna see how it was all molded in one piece. There was nothing to separate or anything. And plus, I really like this insert that he has with his kit. And this fits in like this. And if you can see my review video on these, the Stanz Industry from Reet, it is a thing to behold. It is really, really nice, and it looks good like that, right? And I mean, having this metal plate in there would have looked nice too, but this just gives it that extra bit of authenticity look. And also, and I'm not trying to re-review these goggles, but it does have all these nice little like fake electronics there, like the capacitor, the battery box and stuff. I changed this to a metal one here. There was a resin printed one there, and I didn't quite like it as much as this real metal one. This one is resin printed as well, but that looks great. You can buy, oops, I just dropped my screwdriver bit there. You can buy a metal one here, but this one just looks the part. You don't have to switch that out. All right, so what did I do? I will show you. I took some pictures while I was doing it. So it had these pieces actually glued on, like epoxy glued on to here. So when I had everything removed, these things remained on. If you can picture this as that, it was literally stuck on there. So I had to Dremel it off with a cut-off disc. And that took me about an hour to do. It was dust everywhere. I had to wear masks, goggles, everything. Make sure you were wearing all your safety gear. But most goggles out there, it's probably separate. Kind of like how I 3D printed this. This is separate from that, and that is just bolted onto here. That's why it can turn. It was separate. Whereas when I turned it on the Stanz Industry ones, it was only this middle piece, this midsection here that could turn. So now I can turn the whole thing. So yeah, let me show you a video of how I did that and some still images. I'll just put them here with I think I did a quick explanation. So here you have it. Hey guys, well I'm trying to, I'm going to insert this video somewhere because I'm just taking this stuff apart and figuring out what goes where. And when I take apart my goggles here, these rings are molded as one piece to this. So I got to figure out how I'm going to cut out and separate these from this lens here. And if I can do that, this can either sit on top inside, or I can just bolt these directly on to here. And if you see inside here, nothing's removable because this is all molded one piece there. So yeah, that's something I'm trying to figure out now, and then we will get these on there. But when you put these here, everything lines up, everything's good, and those look really, really good. Okay, and then if I put this plate on here, these holes do line up with these holes. So wherever they're getting all measurements for making these goggles and these lenses, they all have the same sort of like measurements and specifications. All right, so just going to add this video somewhere in my kind of DIY installation video. Okay, so thanks. Okay, so after I had dremeled that all off, smoothened it flat, I had to flip this over, and when I mounted it, I basically had to figure out where some of the screws fit. And if you remember on the old one, it came with a crap ton of screws holding those lenses onto this plate. They literally went all the way around. And you don't need that many screws, don't need to add that much weight. So I only used 3. And basically I found where the holes are, did some measurements. Obviously these 2 holes, these 3 holes actually were off. I was just rushing. I just wanted to get it done. I was like just covered in dust, and I was just shaving those off. But yeah, actually no, I have 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 holes. So I figured it out, and I had to, now they can't turn, so I had to picture where I wanted these ones to sit, because now those black lenses are fixed. They cannot move. So I wanted the Japan to show off on the side there, so I mounted it like this. But if I unscrew these at least can be adjusted, right? So now those black ones cannot, these bases cannot be turned. So I figured out where I wanted it to sit and made sure that it was even at the top and the bottom. They're slightly bottom aligned. Yeah, and made sure that there was a gap here and there. And then I drilled the holes and I screwed it in tight, and it's all secure. And now that I'm here, I want to just give it a quick tighten, because it's been a day since that one was loose since I did it. So I just want everything to settle, and there we go. Everything is good to go. I don't have to worry about it. 3 is more than enough. It is not going to fall off. Like, I mean, you'd have to like throw this or drop it pretty hard for it to come loose. But yeah, that's how I did it. Man, it was a lot of effort, but I didn't want to go and buy another goggle shell, because that would end up being another Ecto Goggle project fiasco. So, and more money spent, because I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Oh, this came loose. I have to glue that back in, or I'm probably going to get some actual like padding that goes on there. But yeah, the end result is pretty amazing. I'm going to bolt everything back in. Probably just going to time lapse that into it. Nobody wants to watch me screw in some screws. But yeah, bear with me. Okay, guys, that's all put back together. It is way easier to take apart than it is to put together because you got to get those nuts, those like locking nuts with the locking washers onto there. You don't want to over tighten. Then there's like one screw here that holds this piece in. There's three nuts. This one in this corner here does not have a nut, just screws into this. So you don't want to over tighten. You don't want to strip this. But yeah, that is it. It is installed. And now, the only issue I had was to how am I going to mount these? Now, I haven't taken the protective things off of them because I'm still figuring out how to install them. So right now, I have to like switch out some of the thumb screws. I have to put a longer one here. So it is sitting where the thumb screws are. You know how in my other video I said just to lay it on the table and put it down. Well, you don't want to have it flush with it because for movie accuracy, there is some lip in there. So I found that if you lined it up with the screw and just put it center in it and you tighten this screw, it would pressure fit these in because they're actually quite loose. They're about like 3/4 of a millimeter too small. Like they couldn't be press fitted in. They're actually quite loose. They'll just like flop in and out. Here, I'll show you. This is like the clear one, like that, and it just drops right out. Um, Here's the thicker one, and it just drops right out. So when you put them in, I opted to do the green ones, but when you put them in, you kind of just you don't want to center them. You want to bring them slightly forward. So when you screw it in, you don't quite see that screw. So it's more 1/3 on the back. So this is more forward by 2/3. And then you screw that in. But right now I'm 3D printing some rings. Some rings that I will press fit into there and glue that in. And I made it with a 2mm lip so that I could drop some E6000 on it or some sort of glue around that lip, and then the lenses will just rest on it. So actually my 3D printer just finished printing. Let me grab these off the plate here. Here it is. Let me just get this little piece off. I had to print it with a brim because they are so thin. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. That's how you pull them off. The small one holds a lot better like that. And yes, don't worry about it. That brim will come right off. And if you're not familiar with 3D printing, the brim goes around that. And it helps with bed adhesion. Hopefully, and yeah, it just peels right off like that. And that is like my little ring that is going to fit in there, hopefully. Just playing around with sizes. I used the digital caliper to measure, and I just made it slightly bigger. So if you think about it, that's going to sit inside the lens, and then that will just sit on top, and it won't fall past it. And then I'd put the glue on this top of this surface here, and then when I drop that in, it will just hold and glue itself in. yeah, I did this one. I just printed in black because, you know, it's going to go in here. And then I'm going to print this one. This is just a test. I was going to print it in silver so you won't really see it. And using the dark green acrylic, sorry, acrylic lenses, you're not going to be able to see these behind them. And they're so thin anyways. I mean, look at that, right? Okay, so let's see if these fit. And if they don't, it's back to the drawing board. I just want to have them pressure fit in a little bit. Almost. Nope. Ooh, there we go. Yes. No. Every time I push one side, the other side goes up. There, I just pushed the... Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Good. It fell in. But that's because they're so loose. It came right out. Okay, let's try that again. You know what? It's probably better if I take that out and I'm not fiddling with that. The whole goggle. And if it falls over, I'll be very sad. It does kind of fit in. It's just ever too big, so when I put it in, it kind of bows out of shape. But if you can see that, that is kind of like my idea here. I just push it in there, and I'll create a lip. I'll create a lip like that, and when I drop this in, it won't go further past that lip. So right now it's kind of resting on that lip, but obviously it's not straight because I made it too big, so it's in there on an angle. And see, it won't drop through like that. It won't drop through. So if I pull that out, it'll just drop right through. So if you don't want to go this route, you don't have a 3D printer, you just use these thumb screws to hold it into place. And how did I do that? Well, because it comes with extra ones like this, this is how you get it to sit flat. I use a quarter. I have an American quarter just laying around because I use those as reference pictures. When I'm doing sizing for stuff, everyone recognizes an American quarter. I use a little bit of thickness of cardboard here, and then I take my green lens there, and everything's flat and nice, and I just put that through, kind of push it down, make sure that it's flat, and then I tighten the screw, and boom, nice and even all the way around. Yeah, so that's how I do it, but I am going to figure that out. I will keep working on these. I'll get it right. I'll get it fitting in there really good. And yeah, I'll report back later. But so for now, this is how I installed my TV fans, all aluminum lenses, and it looks great. I love them. I think, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to position all this. Pretty much like this. And I think they look awesome. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Please like and subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think about these. These are a little bit bigger than these ones, but I don't know. You can't really tell once it's all mounted on, and I think that these are the more screen accurate size. All right. So yeah, hope you liked the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Don't mind my dry hands. Bye. Hey guys, I just want to add at the end of this video, I kind of came up with an idea where if I just cut a section out of this ring you see there, you kind of give it that kind of springing effect. And if I put it in, it'll spring outwards and hold. And I did that with this one as well. Oops. See, that's how springy it is. It like fires out. And you can kind of see it sit in there. So the idea is I would glue that in there because when you use glue, you could really screw up the acrylic. You could get it all over it, and then all of a sudden you can't see through it. And I wouldn't use crazy glue because it has that chemical, and I forgot, it starts with a C, and it'll cloud up your acrylic. So you got to figure out, maybe I would use epoxy because epoxy can hold metal and plastic. So it would hold in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably mount this where this one is, and then here, I'll show you. Just say I mounted this piece into there, and I would epoxy this ring up against that one, but on the sides. And then after it's dried, I would remove that lens in there, and then basically I'll have my lip in there, and then I would drop in, I would drop this into there after putting a coating of glue around that lip, and then just drop it and let it sit and dry. And the idea of doing that is I'll have a double way of holding it. The glue will hold it onto this lip that I made that's glued onto the lens housing, and then it'll be lined up with this screw, so I'll screw it in and it'll hold it tight as well. So you kind of have like a double hold. You have the glue and the screw, because if you're wearing it on your head and it gets jarred loose or something, I don't know, the heat of the sun shouldn't affect epoxy though, and you'll lose a lens. So at least you have kind of like double protection on losing it. It's either the glue failed or the screw failed. It's going to be pretty tough chance that both the glue and the screw failed you, and you lose a lens. But if you do lose a lens, at least you'll have these extra clear ones. But I really want to use these green ones. So I'll report back on a short video later on when I figure this out. All right. So again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.